There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
We've been fighting a long time, and we've all lost so very much, so many loved ones gone. You're not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. Wear it and break. Above all, stay alive. You have no idea how important you are. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Who the hell do you think you are?
My name is Max Powell. Showed up for me, goddammit. You heard me loud and clear. Another wonderful episode of what we call the broadcast, brought to you by the BBR Network. And what is the BBR Network without the one and only BBR Batman? Sir, how are you?
We're back.
What you mean, we? Are you talking about that preacher man over there with you? What's going on, sir? How are you?
Yeah, I'm here too.
Glad to have you. So, this is probably going to be the first preacher rant.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Fired up about the ridiculous EDC, sir. So, take it away, preacher man.
Oh, yeah. I don't understand it. Like, I get EDC. You know, it's a knife, it's a gun, it's a wallet, it's whatever. It's your everyday carry. But what I do not understand, for the life of me, so we are coming up on Christmas, and it becomes this, you see lots of videos of the top 10 gifts to get your
Everybody's got to make their list, yeah.
Right, for EDC, or things that you can gift to people. And I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Maybe I'm just out there, but I'm not gifting someone a $500 knife that I can't get. I'm not gifting somebody a pouch with a set of titanium pry bars that holds a wrench and pry bars and, 15 other gadgets that I couldn't even think of a purpose for.
Hold on, you're leaving out the fact that it's a pry bar the size of a nail file.
No, it's about 4 inches long.
Yeah.
4 or 5 inches long. And this all fits into this little canvas pouch that you're supposed to stick in your back pocket? You think having a fat wallet hurts your ass? Jesus.
No, it goes on your belt. That's
no,
why there's
no. There's no belt loops.
There's an additional clip that you can buy to go on the pouch.
Oh, of course there is. Of course there is. It's asinine. I'm not carrying 3 flashlights, 5 knives, a pair of channel locks, and 4 Write in the Rain notebooks, as well as a neck knife. And who the fuck are these people?
Technicians.
People wearing cargo pants. Like myself. Because my pants are just filled with crap, and yeah, I'm notorious.
When I worked as a welder, when I worked in industries where I needed to carry tools with me, fine.
Nah, man.
These people are talking about I'm going to the grocery store. I gotta pack 50 pounds onto my body. Don't forget to load up all the cargo pants. Maybe I should stuff an MRE in my back pocket.
You might get hungry.
It's absolutely Learn to fast. Learn to fast. It's asinine. I have nothing wrong. I have nothing against getting good gear. I really don't.
Right.
But really, what are you doing carrying all this shit with you when you go to the grocery store or when you go out? I've gone camping in the woods for 2 weeks and haven't needed a quarter of this shit that they're strapping onto their body every single day.
This episode is sponsored by Nipex and the Cobra pliers.
Oh my God, that's what it was. The Cobra pliers.
Yep.
That threw me over the edge. Sorry.
Yeah, they're small channel locks. That again, I look at it and I go, okay, so you took a useful tool and you shrunk it down to a size where you can carry it in your pocket every day. But now it's not useful because what the hell are you doing with a tiny itty bitty pair of channel locks?
Well, you can use it. Here's what I was told on this video. You can use it to take off nuts. You can use it as a pair of pliers. If you use the very edges of it, you can use it to strip wire. You can use it to fix your car. You can use it to.
What's the difference between that thing and a Leatherman?
A Leatherman is a single tool that holds. It's a multi-tool.
Right. I mean,
I don't have a problem with a Leatherman. But I have a problem with a Leatherman and 3 knives.
Well, you need one to cut with, one for self-defense, and then one to use to unlock doors that are locked.
You know how much a Leatherman costs now? The top-end Leathermans are upwards of $200.
I bought one from the Dollar Tree for $5. I kid you not.
I would say I have lost more multi-tools than I care to count, and I'm not spending $200 on a multi-tool that I know.
No, because the EDC video I saw said you buy the Gordon multi-tool from Harbor Freight for $40 instead of the $150. Like, come on, preacher.
But you also have to carry the SOG multi-tool because the SOG multi-tool has more pressure with the pliers than the Leatherman multi-tool.
No, not this one. You'll be all right. But you do need to get the Leatherman bit set to go with it because it uses the same type of proprietary bits.
Except apparently the bit driver that Leatherman sells is never in stock.
Correct. That's okay. Neither is the Gordon tool that's at Harbor Freight. So, and then you need to get the Harbor Freight mini toolbox to store all these things in while you're at home and not EDCing your EDC.
Oh my God. It's I get it. Channels exist and people who review gear and everything else. But just like, I carry all this stuff with me every single day.
Preacher.
Yeah.
Show me on the doll where the EDC hurt you.
In his
everywhere.
It's right in his pockets.
It's right. It's in his pocket.
In my cargo pants. It hurt me in my cargo pants.
Yeah, I'm remaining quiet on this because I'm notorious for carrying too much crap. The bagman will tell you, like, my tool bag is overfilling, and I'm now actually ripping the stitches because I just carry so much. I don't want to be without. I'm actually making it a conscious effort to use a smaller bag, a more stripped down stuff. But as I confessed today at work to the bagman, I think I've hit the limit of this thing, this wonderful Condor bag that I got from BlackBagResources, DRKM. And, so I bought a 105-piece little small set that would replace 2 things, but I haven't pulled the 2 things out of my bag yet because I'm not sure if it will replace it. I like having a lot of crap. And the EDC
There's a difference between carrying a lot of tools for your job. There's a very significant difference to that. I have no problem with stuffing tool bags if I might need the tool on the job. No problem at all.
Yeah.
I think that doesn't...
Because, so... There's no, because it follows the same line of thinking. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? And I get some of these things become very niche within the EDC community, and the fact that there's an EDC community is kind of strange. But whatever, right? Everybody goes down their chosen rabbit hole, says the nerdy preparedness podcaster. Right? The irony of that statement is not lost on me.
Listen, the stone's not getting thrown very far. I'm just
No. And I'm cleaning the glass house now, waiting for incoming. So, but it's one of those things. So, and again, when I took the job with Max, I started carrying a 6-in-1 screwdriver every day, right? And that became part of my EDC, not because I intended to intentionally make it that way, but because I just forgot and I started carrying it all the time because I got used to carrying it at work. And within a couple of weeks, my kids would go, "Hey, Dad, I need your screwdriver." And it's a weird thing that happens that once you start carrying it, you find more uses for it than you ever needed before. Like, I went 20 years without carrying a 6-in-1, and all of a sudden I'm using a 6-in-1 every day. So maybe those goofy little Nipex pliers come in handy if you have them in your pocket. You think, hey, I'm going to pull these out and use them. Great. the other side of it is, it can become theater of the absurd in the sense that, you get so far down that rabbit hole that you start sharing pictures with your friend and coworker going, hey, here's my system of the week.
System of the week.
Yeah.
And then you have a theme
System
song for
of the week. We need a theme song for that.
All right.
We need a theme song for System of the Week because we really we contract your kid to do that after the next YouTube short.
So another thing that irked me, and this is aside from the EDC, it just happened to fall into the realm of what the individual was talking about. O-lights. I did not realize that O-light for the little carry flashlights, I'm not talking about weapon lights or even the little mini pocket flashlights because those things are amazing. But the rechargeable ones have a proprietary charging port. So you have to if you get an O-light, you have to get another plug.
Yeah, it's a magnetic
to plug into a USB-C and then plug into your flashlight to charge your flashlight.
Right, but it's magnetic, and you don't have to. Right, it's waterproof. It's all these things. Like, I see the arguments for and against it. Right, and I'm sure we're going to get feedback on this. That somebody will comment. Oh, lights explode.
Oh shit! Really?
Free sticker to the first person who does it.
Like I said, I got two of them.
Everything explodes.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
If you try hard enough.
Well, no, but there's. Listen, it's. What was the tablet that was blown up on people too? Like
that was the Samsung,
a thing, right? Yeah. And it's going to be a thing with some of the newer batteries. Like it's just that's why you're not allowed to take e-bikes and powered skateboards into buildings because the batteries are an issue.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get that. It's just another cord, right? If you're trying to make a light that people are going to carry with them, and be useful. Well, most people have a power bank. Why are you making something with a proprietary charging port? Yeah, sure, great. It's magnetic. But you know what? Everybody's got power banks and everybody's got USB-C. And it's a standard for a reason. You're not gaining anything.
But if you're a member of the cult of EDC, you probably know to charge your O-light every night when you go to bed, just like you charge your phone every night. I don't see why you're getting upset about that.
I'm not saying
it's another cord. Wait, hold on a second. You use a fucking iPhone.
Gotcha, bitch.
That's a proprietary cord too, dip.
No, USB-C.
Not anymore. They moved.
It is now.
Yeah, now they did that, but it's probably the same thing. Like
it is now. Congratulations on catching up to the rest of us on the Androids.
Listen, that's kind of part of my point, though, right? Like, this has a lightning port. My watch has its own little proprietary dongle. My phone has a USB-C. My tablet has a USB-C. My older phone has another lightning port, right?
Your vape.
All right, so you're
why
already
add
4
another
wires
thing?
in. That's the problem. You've already complicated it too far for yourself.
I haven't complicated it intentionally.
No, the Apple superiority got under your...
This is what my company gives me. This is the phone that I have. Okay.
Well, that's why.
Why are you blaming O-Light for your company's choices?
You just have to have the EDC charging bay with 15 different charging things and a couple of 18650 battery charging things, so you can just take it out and swap your batteries, and you lay it all out. When you come home, you decompress and you empty all your cargo pockets out. Everything goes into its charging place, and you're ready for action in the morning when you get up and you put 15 pounds of extra crap.
Yeah, you 3D print your cradle for all your EDC items. Yeah. Yep.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you're right. So you know what? You're right. No. I've changed my mind. I'm going out to get channel locks and start carrying around the screwdrivers.
Yeah, but the cool Nip-X Cobras are out of stock, so you can't get them.
Yeah, but wait.
I found a couple Klein boxes.
I got to fire back on you, Bagman, because you love your little tool belt setup that is exclusive because it doesn't work with nobody else's shit.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Keep polishing those glass walls.
That's why I have to defend my EDC brethren because my system of the week is absolutely stupid. Yeah. But it works for me, so that's what I run with, right?
And there's a point to that, right?
Like,
if it
I'm
works
sure the
for
guys
you, it
at
works
work
for
talk
you.
shit about me wearing my goofy modular belt, but it's working for me, and I like it. So it's my system of the week, and how dare you?
Again, I think there's a big differentiation, though, between something that you're using on the job versus it almost does feel like a superiority complex, right? Of look at all the shit that I can pack with me because I might need it.
God forbid a man has a hobby.
Another thing.
Don't talk about me about hobbies.
I will openly admit the coolness of having the thing needed. Okay, so most people with EDC, some sort of pocket knife. I was at a school event, and they were cutting something down. Like, look, somebody needed a knife. So here comes Mr. Phallus, whips it out real quick.
Look at me.
Yeah, here you go. Hands it, blade in reverse because I'm all about safety because I know how to handle a knife. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, Mr. Phallus had the knife, and now we can cut this thing down. There's a cool element to having the odd item, in your cool pouch.
Did you pull out your Leatherman with the Leatherman driver and then the little wristband with all the little bits in
Magnetic
it?
bits.
After
Don't
that?
tell him about that. Listen, Klein makes one that I'm dying to get my hands on.
Listen, half the reason that Batman is cool is because his gadgets. And where does he pull them out? His belt.
Get those wonderful toys.
There is something cool about whipping it out and like, oh, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. There's something cool about having the tool.
No, dude, you've said it like 3 times already. Phallus whipping it out has been the theme of the program so far. You're fine.
So far.
Don't back off it now.
Good point. That's what I said when I whipped it out at the school event. But yeah, there was an element of that. But then the other side of that is like, when are you ever going to need like 5 feet of paracord wrapped up at a school event? Like, we're not hanging things like that. But there is a line, though.
But the time you need it.
Yeah.
The fact that you carried it for 8 years and that one time you used it now justifies it for the next 8 years. So my only other pushback on the charger thing, right? And I get it. Like, I don't care for a lot of the products that are out there. But at the same time, if you never experiment, we never advance, right? You have to come out with new things every once in a while to make improvements. And that may catch on, and 10 years from now, everything is a little magnetic charger, and they're all the same, right? It may become the new standard. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen just because I think there's enough people that hate Olight just on principle for whatever reason. They're not going to.
I actually like their flashlights. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, I think they're decent lights. I haven't had one explode on me.
I have one on my wife's firearm, and I have an extra one that when I put it on mine, it was too small. I didn't like it aesthetically. The light's amazing, don't get me wrong, and the momentary / latching switch is great. I do like the magnetic charging concept, because if you have it stored, so let's just say next to your bed, you have it plugged in, and if you're grabbing it quick, you can just yank it right off. You don't have to worry about the thing being damaged or anything. I think that's a great concept. I really do.
USB-C is going to unplug itself too.
Yeah, but this is made to like come off quickly, whereas like USB-C, there is a latching element to it that the magnet doesn't have.
I would argue if you're pulling your gun in the middle of the night, the worrying about your USB-C hanging off of your weapon is the least of your problems.
Also a valid point. A valid point.
Yeah.
But it's just cool. I don't mind that sort of advancement. I mean, I believe it's the same concept as the Apple Watch does the magnetic charging.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. And the watch slips off of my table and then unhooks itself and then falls. Or I personally don't like the magnetic charging stuff. I just think that it's not a good enough connection. And maybe that gets better with time. Maybe Olight is making the advancement on that, right?
Maybe.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And time will tell.
I can't really, and again, I can't point the finger at anybody else for doing ridiculous things because I know I'm guilty of it too, right? I've been carrying a knife since I was 8 years old. People looked at me weird plenty of times just because of that. I usually have either a lighter or matches in my pocket too, which people think is weird because I don't smoke. But the first thing they teach you is carry something to light someone else's cigarette. It's an opening and a way to start a conversation. So it's been worth it to do it for that reason. And then plenty of other times have come up where I went, oh yeah, sure. Here you go. And I think you really hit the nail on the head when you said there's a cool factor to that, right? Mm-hmm. And again, it ties in with the problem solver ethos, right? But it ties into the problem solver ethos in the network, and I think if you looked, I think it would probably be a common thread that a lot of the members of the network carry more stuff than the average person.
Yeah, I'm sure, myself included.
Right. The question becomes, where do you draw the line?
When does it become
theater of the absurd?
Yeah.
Channel locks. I think channel locks is the line.
I don't know.
I think channel locks is
the line. Channel locks or past channel locks?
I think right.
But the Icon Mini ratchet set is okay, right?
I got to see how small the line is. I got to see how small the package is, and if it comes with a belt clip, because that's another thing. I'm a sucker for strapping on things to my belt and just like letting it hang. And wow, I'm really digging a nice hole for myself here, audible wise. And just if it comes with a pouch, I'm probably going to have it.
Right. Well, here's the other thing. Yeah, so as we're doing this, be sure to put in the old Batman theme. No.
So what's the line for you, Preacher? Like somebody starts emptying out their pockets. Where does it get ridiculous for you? Like, dude, why do you carry that?
I think once you start pulling out multiples of things, right? Or so I could see carrying a flashlight. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I EDC these things all the time, but I think what my standard list is: you need a knife, you need a lighter. I agree with the lighter.
No.
If you conceal carry, you need your handgun. I'm one of the people who thinks that you don't need to bring an extra magazine, right?
But you also live in a non-reduced capacity state, though.
Right. Well, the purpose of the magazine isn't for more ammo. The spare magazine isn't necessarily for more ammunition. It's for malfunctions and the like.
Okay.
That being said, everything's a trade-off in risk versus reward, right? It's just not something that I like to carry.
He also works from home.
Right.
So he never really leaves. So his EDC is his whole house. So I don't think it's really a fair comparison here, right? Okay. Those of us who leave the house have to put shit in our pockets. No, you get to have your entire house at your fingertips.
Yeah, he doesn't leave the house, so his concerns are a bit different than ours. We do have the large backpack, aka service vehicle, that we travel around with, so we keep that stocked. So I guess we probably represent the extreme ends of it, with Preacher being
so your mobile snails.
Exactly. Yeah.
As opposed to you, the tactical turtle.
Yes.
There you go. That's new stickers coming from Stuck Not Customs, ladies and gentlemen, with a whole bunch of shit hanging off.
In short, I'm right, Preacher's wrong, and we disagree on everything. So there.
So yeah, carrying channel locks in your EDC does feel extreme.
Might be a little bit too far.
I think though it's because we use them for work, so it's like you leave work behind.
You're not the case again. You're not the case scenario in this. Neither of you are.
Yeah.
Right. You're carrying them for work. You're not working for the next 3 weeks. Are you going to carry around a pair of channel locks in your back pocket?
No.
When you go out?
No.
Okay.
No. Knife, flashlight.
There you go.
Wallet.
It's a tool too far.
But I am going to start experimenting with a man bag now, just to like prep myself for carrying a firearm. I'm not sure if I'm going to appendix carry or not, or, you know.
That's a lovely purse you have there.
Thank you. I got it off Temu, ladies and gentlemen. I'm shopped like a millionaire. See, I'm thinking about it in like stages. You know, once I get to the point where I'm carrying a firearm, I do believe I'll be carrying a tourniquet and other items. Being that I live in New Jersey, I'm going to have to carry at least 2 magazines because 10 rounds may not be enough. And then again, I'll have to draw a line and say, don't carry too much shit, Max. You're not at work. Because Bagman will tell you that I make tool bags explode by just overpacking, and it's a bad habit.
Tool bags, you've broken how many hand carts at this point?
I'm still on the second one.
Like actual hand carts.
Mm-hmm.
Technically,
I'm still on the second
technically.
one.
The thing's
wheels,
hanging on by a prayer.
The wheels fall off. I put them back on because I am a problem solver. God damn it! Give it up for me.
So
there you go.
You know, going back to what you were saying, you know, you're taking it in layers and steps, and I think that's the best way to do it, right? If you try to pack a bunch of stuff, it's going to get heavy, and you're not going to carry it. It's the same thing with carrying a firearm. If it's too uncomfortable, chances are you're going to leave it off your belt, right?
Yeah.
It's the same reason, you know, you don't carry a full-size firearm concealed carry. I mean, I know that there are people who do that, but that's not the majority. I believe, yeah, Bagman does, but I typically carry a revolver, a 5-shot 357, and a speed loader. So I got 10 shots typically. I've been carrying the SIG a little bit more lately though, but you know, again, you carry what you're going to be comfortable with. If you're comfortable hucking around a pile of shit, then it's not a problem, right?
You sound like an enabler, sir, because I do carry around a bunch of shit that we've already discussed, and at this point, I'm totally comfortable with it. It's kind of my MO. It's how I operate. You know?
Yeah, and if you're expecting him to quit because it gets too heavy, that is not going to be the reason.
No, I wouldn't expect that it would.
No, I've seen what he carries at work.
Still heavy. But you're so big.
Here's a question for you then. Being in the restricted state that you are, does carrying a bunch of tactical stuff, quote unquote tactical, point you out versus carrying just a small plain backpack or a small plain sling bag or whatever?
We're talking in an everyday scenario?
Yeah. Yeah, outside of your job.
I would say that like a sling bag is very low profile. A sling bag with a little bit of molly on it, I think it's because they're so all over the place now to where it doesn't really raise attention. If you add like the American flag patch on it, then you start to adding more noticeable gray man layers to it, you know?
Right.
Air quote gray man.
Yeah.
The tactical backpack by itself is probably not as big a red flag as you think. The tactical backpack paired with the 511 pants, the sorrel boots, the 511 polo shirt,
the bright red medic bag, because the medic bag has to obviously be different.
Right. With the tourniquet stashed on the outside of the pack. Yeah, then you start getting into full-blown tactical Timmy, and you know that's the shoot me first gear.
So this is 5 Molly panels I 3D printed out, and this hangs inside my family van on the back of the back passenger seat. That's my like emergency kit, medical stuff.
Yeah, but see, that's
car.
You're not carrying that on you. That's
no.
in your vehicle.
But the bagman will tell you that I would. I would just literally put 2 straps on it and walk out the house with it, because I'm ridiculous like that. Like I'd like the sense of being prepared and being able to help.
If you think he won't put on suspenders and front mount that whole thing right to his chest.
So
I think that
being said, are you going through the process now of getting the concealed carry permit?
Yeah. There's a class scheduled during my vacation that I want to take, because I'll be home. I can just take my time, go up there and get it done. And once I want to I want to do the class, the quote unquote qualifier first before I start all the paperwork, because I figure that that's the hardest thing to do. Paperwork I can do while I'm at work, but taking the class is the one that's really got to be scheduled and addressed.
But from what I understand, the paperwork is what takes the longest.
But I can do that like while I'm at work, like the physical activity of doing it. The class thing.
Gotcha.
Since I'm home during the day, I can go to the 1 o'clock class, and I don't have to worry about getting out of work, getting my stuff packed up, traveling to where the qualifier is. So it fits me doing it this way. With all the IDs and everything that I have during work, it's a wonder that I still have to get my fingerprint done again. But okay, I can do that. That's easy enough. I can probably schedule that during work hours. But it is on my to-do list. It's been on my to-do list since early this year to get my carry permit, which will also give me an excuse to buy another firearm. Yay.
So does the class have to be done before you submit the paperwork?
I believe it all has to be. Yeah, it all has to be done together. When you submit your packet, when you go try to kiss the ring and bow before the kings, you have to bring all the tributes. So having the class, and then the paperwork, and then the fingerprints, all of that gets pushed in one big tribute bowl for the Golden Kings. And then
again in New Jersey, in their response to like Bruin and all this stuff, when all of that got turned over, and then they actually had to start issuing carry permits, they started putting requirements on, and one of those requirements on like the third go round of wait, we want to fix this better than we fixed it the last 3 times, was that there's, I believe, some sort of, and I'll call it use of force, but decision making is part of the education you get in those trainings. They talk about, what the laws are and when it is okay and not okay to use your firearm in self-defense. So
also
multiple layers to that.
Which on the surface is not a bad thing. Everybody should understand that, in my opinion.
Right, which is why the government should get serious about it and quit bullshitting and make it a high school required course. Just like driver's education should be a mandatory use of force education course over a 6-month period for every student that goes through the public education system.
I'm okay with that.
And since I got to file all this paperwork, included in that paperwork would be a permit to purchase a firearm, because I don't want to carry my 1911. I'd rather specifically buy something smaller that won't pull my pants down, because it's made of solid, hardcore, ballsy steel. So, so weird ass backwards way is I know there's going to be a lot of paperwork, and I can do paperwork fairly easy and quickly, but the scheduling thing was the
hard part.
Yeah, so I can bang it all out. Once I take the qualifier and I know it's just paperwork left, then I can apply for a new purchase. Christmas will be over. I'm sure there'll be some, New Year's Eve sales or something like that, or even a discount code in the BBR network that'll get you some sort of percentages off or whatever, and I can make a new purchase.
There's a lot of new affiliate codes. The newest one that I just added a few minutes before we went on, I finally got the update from Optics Planet. So we have an affiliate code for Optics Planet. I'll send that over to you, and maybe you put that in the show notes for this one, because they're a big company and they carry a lot of stuff. And
they're good service too.
Yeah. I've never had any complaints about Optics Planet. What are we printing this week? You showed off your Molly panels.
Yeah.
You got anything else on the machines?
No, on my to-do list is to print out some sort of sheath or covering for machetes, because I do have a bunch of those, and I'm just currently keeping them in the cardboard that it comes in, but the points kind of cut through. I want to attach a bit of a sheath to this panel setup for the back of the van, which led me down a rabbit hole of looking for a possibly bigger get-home bag that could conceal the machete, because the one that I currently use now is too big. Or I should say it's not big enough to conceal the machete. So that's just currently in the work van, all willy-nilly like. So that was another, if I get a bigger bag, I'll carry more crap. and then I'll do more coke. If you remember that old school commercial, going back and forth.
I do coke so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can work longer, so I can earn more, so I can do more coke, so I can work longer.
How far can you throw a machete? Could you hit a drone?
No, it's definitely not a ranged weapon, more in the melee style. But
Fair enough.
if things get to that point, I would assume that I would have your proposed new DIY project that we discussed in the last episode, and I can just Magneto my way into some shotgun shells. Yeah. It's more to get through protests. if I ever get surrounded, people.
So, have you considered maybe instead of a bigger, because again, this is how Max turns into the snake eating its own tail. So he has an EDC bag or a get home bag that's already packed and ready to go, and now he adds a machete. Well, the machete is too big for the bag, so now we're going to get a bigger bag to conceal the machete, but now I've got more room in the bag, so I'm going to put more stuff in the bag, and this is where it gets out of hand. So my question is, have you considered, instead of a machete, go with a large knife that's small enough to fit in the bag?
It's already in the bag.
Okay, maybe we stop there then.
Well, my ridiculous mindset is I have my tricked out walking stick, and that is less off-putting walking through New York City or try to get out of some sort of densely populated area. The machete is more of like, okay, things have escalated now. I need to get out and be ready, a little bit readier, if you would, than the 10-foot pole that I use as a walking stick with a built-in compass. My Red Ryder BB guns, if you would. So again, it's more like obviously it's a what if thing. My real concern is like, if I get pulled over, I have this exposed machete sitting in a accessible spot. Whereas if it's inside my bag, at least I know I have it. I know I can get to it fast enough if I have to get to it. But if I get pulled over, I don't have to worry about hiding it because it's inside of a duffel bag along with other stuff. It's non-threatening.
Right. It's not in plain sight. It's not. Yeah.
That's
what you're saying.
That's the main reason why I thought about that bag when I sent you the picture. Like, I may be upgrading just because for this one item to be safely protected from prying eyes, it may be worth it. And I can easily fit all the stuff in my current bag into the newer, bigger bag. But now the added bonus of having that thing hidden is a really good selling point.
So, question then. What's the advantage of machete versus a large fixed blade that you already have?
Intimidation. The tool aspect of the machete, in case I got to hunker down and cut a couple branches off or something.
Brother, have you looked at yourself in the mirror? You don't need help with intimidation.
I understand that.
Brandishing for fun and profit.
Fun and profit. But foolish people feel empowered in higher numbers. So, me having my Yoda stick versus me having the Yoda stick and the machete, it's more of a I Am Legend kind, not I Am Legend, what is the other one? Book of Eli kind of vibe. Whereas, the old man that has the walking stick, it doesn't look all that intimidating, but the giant black dude with the machete does. So it's almost like you have to transform yourself outwardly to repel potential idiots. And that's aside from the functionality tool-wise of the machete. I may need to cut this off, or I may need to split this in half, or make some firewood or something like that. Whereas the knife that I have in my bag, smaller, but I'm not cutting a bush out or making camo that I need to drape on my molly bag so I can lay down with the drone, or pull out the thermal blanket and then cover myself with the don't let me rabbit hole, please. It's just I see more functionality from it. I'll just give you that short answer. That's all.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow, he corked the bottle on that tism pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah. Because again, my mind races with possibilities and problems that I couldn't
Just remember,
generate.
if you're hiding from thermal cameras, just get underwater. They can't see through the water.
I've been watching a lot of videos of people using umbrellas and thermal blankets and stuff. So there's now 4.
You can do the old Bugs Bunny routine and stick a reed up and just float down the Hudson. You'll be fine. They won't find you.
So I should hollow out my walking stick is what you're telling me. Ah. Okay. Yeah.
You are not helping.
Maybe,
Creature, you are not helping.
Maybe just pack a straw. That, you have a new bag with more room so you can fit a couple straws in there.
No, sure. Why not a snorkel and a mask and fins? It'll make it quicker down the river.
It
Well,
would.
I just built one in my mind with a piece of PVC that would be identical in length of the machete, so I know it'll fit in the bag. Thank you for the idea. Damn, that was like
You're
perfect
welcome.
too. Yep.
I'm glad to help.
Just a
I
quick
have
90
such a headache.
and two chunks of PVC, and that'll be very useful. Yes. But I think all my
Make sure it cures
buoyancy.
well enough. You don't want to be, sucking down PVC glue while you're hiding from the thermal drums.
Right, because that's the gross thing that's going to get inside him while he's going underwater in the Hudson River.
Yeah.
The PVC glue is like the
one of
best thing that's
one
going to
of
get
the
in his
gross
mouth.
things.
No, the PVC glue is the tastiest, most delicious thing that's going in his mouth if he's underwater in the Hudson. Stop it.
I could just mix it with some vape juice. Get some
Ooh.
high-end pineapple or whatever you're sucking on over there, preacher.
Unflavored. I don't
See,
do flavors at all.
Bagman and I have had this conversation about crossing the Hudson, and I never thought about being underneath it. I always just figured to just go on top of it, an inflatable mattress, with one of those inflatable beds with the built-in foot pumps will fit in my get-home bag if I upgrade to the big one, and I have that. So you thought we were joking? Like, Max is just filled with rabbit hole spirals, bro. I've got mileage on my rabbit hole passport because I take what do we say? We say ride the wave of the idea, ride it all the way out until it hits the shore.
We watched, the boys and I watched the greatest Christmas movie ever this evening.
Die Hard?
You already
Yes.
watched Emmett Otter's Christmas junk band.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, we did watch that one the other day too, but this was the first time for Chaos watching Die Hard.
Mm.
And I'm foreseeing him quoting things already.
So tomorrow you're gonna wake up to him and the wife beater and no shoes on, all day. All
No,
day.
I don't think he's doing that. I think he sees that as like a valuable life lesson, and he's going to wear shoes all the time now.
Or is he gonna grow his hair long and start rocking a bullpup like Homeboy at the end?
Dude, so that was pretty cool because as soon as they show up, Mayhem goes, "Hey, Dad, there's a lot of MP5s." I was like, "Yes, there are." I was like, "Now what's this?" He's like, "Hold on, I don't know." He's putting the barrel on. Oh, that's a Steyr AUG. It's an AUG. I was like, "Good job, bud." He's 10. I am so proud.
Arguably a terrible rifle to begin with, but
Well, again, this will make you very happy because that was the next thing he said. He goes, "But it's a bullpup, so we don't like those."
squishy triggers.
Yep.
Everyone.
Yep. Yeah, it was fun. So what, if we had to pick something in the firearms category, something in the preparedness category, and maybe something in the EDC category, what's on your Christmas list this year?
Okay, my Christmas list would be a firearm. Preparedness would be, see, now you ask me for more rabbit hole indicators. I did ask for a drone because I'd like to be able to throw one up and have a 360 of my house from an aerial view That's in my sense being prepared.
Mm-hmm.
My carry permit is also, I guess, a good Venn diagram blending of the two of those things. What was the third category?
EDC. So that hits all three.
There you go.
Yeah.
I win. What about you, Preacher?
Well, my EDC, I just picked up a new Gerber multi-tool.
With channel locks? Does it have channel locks on it? Is there channel locks?
It does not have channel locks. However, the pliers are spring-loaded, so that's kind of nice on it. So I'll replace my old sawing tool that I still carry around from 30 years ago. Firearms, I'm thinking a Mossberg 930.
Shotgun?
And yes. And preparedness, I really want to get a small inverter generator to be able to power, sensitive electronics.
Mm-hmm.
I could get a big tri-fuel generator, but that's just dirty power and won't go well unless I have a hookup, to run the whole house off of it. But that's not my prep plan. My prep plan is, well, actually, I just got on Black Friday, they had the, not Bluetti, I can't remember the name, I can't remember the brand name, solar generator that was on sale from $2,000 down to $500.
How many watts?
And I will tell you in just a second. 2,500, I think.
Did it come with the charging panels, the solar panels?
It did not.
Ooh. So
that wasn't that wasn't part of that. So I'll need to get that. It was the EcoFlow, the EF EcoFlow, the Delta 2, and it's 1024 watt hours. So not massive, but not tiny either, right? It's not a small jackery or anything like that. And again, the goal for that is to be able to power my furnace, power my well pump, and maybe a fridge and or a freezer. And then recharge that via a small inverter generator and solar, depending on time of year, right? Solar's not
your pump
going
off
to do me very much right now.
Why not construct a small unit just for the pump? That way you're not running, I don't know what the locations of all these items are, but I would think you would want something that's in the house for the house stuff and then something that's outside for the pump.
It's all in the house.
Oh,
the pump,
okay.
The power for the pump is in the house.
Okay.
So it runs right next to the pressure tank, which is right next to the furnace, which is right next to the freezer. So I could just set it up, run 3 cords off of it, and power the main, the main things.
Gotcha.
And even that, like the deep freeze, I don't need to power all day. I need to run it for an hour or two a day, just because of the cold load that's currently in the freezer.
Yeah, and just keep the door closed. You go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What about you there, Bagman?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
I know I'm looking at a lot of things. I'm not getting anything though, because I've been nothing but bad this year. Yeah. It's not in my budget right now, right? But I am very happily watching everybody else enjoy the MP5 clones coming from Military Arms. And they've got their Mac 5K, which is the MP5K version of their MP5 clone. That looks phenomenal, and people have had great things to say about them as far as their reliability and quality and all those things. So yeah, that would be on my wish list if I was doing anything. Preparedness, definitely not EDC, but preparedness. I'd like to get a couple more saws. So I'm lacking a chainsaw. I want to get a chainsaw, and I think for my bug out bag, get home bag, that kind of thing, I want to get a couple of the small folding camp saws. Doesn't have to be anything big, but something appropriate for sawing more than a knife. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm knocking around the idea of doing one of the small folding camp saws versus like a small construction type saw. No, but my thought is like maybe a small hacksaw would be better, or something with changeable blades.
Right. It's not a bad idea.
Right. Especially considering...
just not the chainsaw with the two little handles.
No, the wire survival saws, I'm not a fan of those.
Nope.
And I feel like we've had this conversation several times, both on various podcasts and personally, that if you're going to do one of those emergency survival saws, get the one that's like a chainsaw blade, not the one that's a little wire, because the wire ones always fail at the worst times.
The chainsaw blades fail too. The saw itself doesn't, but the handles that you're holding snap right off.
Connectors. I do need to add a chainsaw to my my house. Piggybacking off of prior conversations, that is where I am lacking in my at-home tool kits. While I have plenty of electrical related stuff, actual wood removal and cutting materials I do not have that much of.
But the other end of it is, like, I know I'm not going to use a chainsaw very much. It's not something that would even get used every summer.
Mm-hmm.
So do I get something electric that you don't have to worry about it, and it's batteries that are compatible with other tools I have, versus do I get a big full power chainsaw that's just going to sit on a shelf and only get used in the worst case scenarios? I don't know.
I have both.
Well, good for you,
my
Mr.
point,
Fancy Pants.
I think for you, the electric would be fine.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I'm more likely to have to prune small stuff.
Yeah.
4-inch diameter is probably the most I would get. Tree limbs, things like that come down locally.
I have the Harbor Freight one.
Yeah.
The 18-inch Harbor Freight, and it has run like a champ for 4 years now. What's
the biggest thing you cut down with it? Like just to measure cutting power off an electric saw.
I've chopped plenty of, serious branches that have come off of big trees up with it.
Okay.
It's got plenty of juice for for the job.
Mm-hmm.
You get 2 batteries, and that's really all you need. A couple extra chains. It's an 18-inch chain, so it'll cut. So the one place that I had problems with it where it didn't have enough oomph was trying to cut through black locust, but gas-powered chainsaws have problems cutting through black locust.
Everything has trouble with black locust. It's a really dense hardwood, and it's nasty.
It's just miserable. Show sponsors? Oh, we already did that. Optics Planet and
sure, Optics Planet, Stuff and Things.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck Knot Customs.
And Stuck Knot Customs, and who else? Let's throw another one in there. How about Ammo Squared?
There you go.
Love me some Ammo Squared.
Sure, ammo's on everybody's Christmas list.
That's it. And you can gift ammo through Ammo Squared now, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, they've really come a long way, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff over there. I'm very pleased with Ammo Squared. And if you go to ammosquared.com/blackbag, you get $20 off your first crate.
There you go. I also believe that anything shipped in December, they send a little gift along with it.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out the sponsors we mentioned earlier. Check out the website, BlackBagResources.com. And if you really want to go deep and join the community, check out the Black Bag Resources Network. Thanks for listening.